What is going on, everybody? My name is David and welcome to my YouTube channel. And in today's video we will be talking about a router on a stick. So what exactly is a router on a stick? Well, a router on a stick is what you would use if this was a small enterprise, to where you have one router and maybe a couple of PCs as you see at the bottom. So in order for members of VLAN 10 to talk to or communicate with members of VLAN 20, you need a router to route the packets. The packets between VLANs 10 and VLANs 20. I'll show you what I mean. So I'll go to this PC right here. Let me just maximize it for you all so it could be bigger for you guys to see. So I'll go to the command prompt. I don't know why this screen's so small under the command prompt. Let me change that right quick. Let me go over here to edit, or options, preferences. Let me go under, where's that at, font. I don't know why it changed on its own like that, but we'll change everything to 20, and we'll change the command line interface. We'll make the font size 20. Apply, and we'll close this out, and we'll see what happens now once I go inside this laptop's command prompt. There we go. Now it's bigger. So I'll maximize this a little bit, make it larger for you guys to see. And I'll slide this over. We're gonna see if we can ping from 192.168.10.10, and we'll try to ping this PC over here, 192.168.20.10. So we'll go ahead and try to ping it. Ping 192.168.20.10. And we shouldn't be able to ping it at all. We should receive some request timeouts as you see on the screen. And the reason we are receiving these request timeouts instead of replies back is because we don't have a router to route the packets from one VLAN to the next, to the other VLAN. So that is why. So I'll go ahead and minimize this. And it's a couple of things that we have to do. We have to turn this interface right here, this switch that's connecting to this router, this has to be a trunk interface right here, and this is on gig 01. So what we'll do is we'll go into the command line interface of this switch, and we'll go ahead and configure this. That is where, let me go ahead and make some changes right quick. Let me go to options, preferences, go to font. Let's see here. Alrighty, I won't worry about that right now. We'll just do this for the time being. Use the white background with the black letters. So what I'll do is make this a little bigger. And there we go. So we'll start off by going into privilege mode, and then we'll go into global configuration mode. Matter of fact, before I do anything else, let me actually check something out. Show IP interface brief. Okay, my interfaces are up except for fast Ethernet. Not fast, but gigabit Ethernet 01. Okay. T interface gig 0/1. So what we're about to do right now is we're going to make this interface a trunk interface, and we're going to allow VLANs 10 and 20 on that interface. So VLANs 10 and 20 will be in this interface. So we'll go back to the command line, and we'll do a switch port mode trunk. That is the command that you will want to use to make this interface a trunk interface. And with this particular switch, I don't have to worry about typing in switch port trunk encapsulation .1Q. See, if I try to do a switch port trunk, it does not give me the option to put in encapsulation .1Q. And what we'll do is now we'll add the VLANs to that interface. So the command for that will be switch port trunk allow switch port. Oh, I see what I did. Forgot to see. Switch port trunk allow VLAN, and we'll add in 20, 10, and 20. So, and that's it. If I do a show interface trunk, let's see what happens. You won't see anything because I have not configured the other interface on the router. The interface gig 1 on the router. So what we would do is of course we'll go ahead and save it, right memory or whatnot. That's a shortcut. And now what we'll do is we'll go into the router command line interface. Let me go to options and let me go to preferences. Sorry about that, guys. We'll go in the font. No, we want the iOS background to be black and the text to have white letters. And we will apply. There we go. So now we come back here and there we go. I like this much better. So we're inside the router. Would you like to enter initial configuration dialog? And the answer to that question is no. So now we'll go into privilege mode, go into global configuration mode, and from here on the router on interface gig 0/1, instead of making any configurations on that interface itself, we're going to go into a different configuration, and I'll show you guys what I mean. So if I was to go into interface gig 01, notice how the prompt would change. So interface gig 0/1, you see now I'm in global config interface mode right there. That's what the IO stands for, basically interface. But I don't want to be in the gigabit 01 interface mode at all. What I want to do is I want to be in a sub interface, because that's where I will make the configurations at, as far as adding the encapsulation .1Q and the IP address of the actual VLANs. So what we'll do is we'll type in this command, interface gig 0/1.10, and you can use any number you want, but because I'm doing VLAN 10 first, it makes it easier to do gig 0/1.10 because it makes everything clean. So you don't want to use, let's say 90, but then that's going to be the IP address for VLAN 10. Might as well just keep everything clean, so we'll keep it gig 0/1.10. And now we are in sub interface configuration mode. And from here, what the commands is encapsulation .1Q and the VLAN number, which is 10. And if I have anything else, I don't, because I do not want to make this the native VLAN at all. So what I'll do is I'll press enter, and the IP address that we will give this interface, we'll use the default gateway of 192.168.10.1. So that command is IP address 192.168.10.1 with a /24 subnet mask of 255.255.255.0. And I always have a habit of doing this right here, no shutdown. Even though I don't have to do that, but that's just a habit. And now what we'll do is we'll use the up arrow, so we don't have to retype it, and then we'll just come back here and put 20 encapsulation .1Q, and I'll show you the context sensitive help, and you see it's asking for the VLAN ID, and for this we'll use 20, and the IP address of that will be 192.168.20.1 with a /24 subnet mask. And we can go ahead and get out of here. We can exit. Control C. Let's save our configuration, and let's see the IP route. See what it gives us. Okay, it didn't give us nothing yet. Okay, and it didn't give us anything yet because this interface is shut down. So what we'll do is we'll go into gigabit 0/1 because we have to bring that interface up. No shut. And as you can see, this interface is coming up right now as we speak. And if I do a show IP interface brief, you can see that sub interface gig 1.10 and 1.20, they're both in an up state, as well as the actual physical interface gig 0/1 is up. So you can look at the sub interface as being like it's a small interface within the actual physical interface of that router. So we'll go back to the switch here. Make this bigger for you all to see. And we'll do a show interface trunk. And there we have it. On gig 0/1 on the switch. Let me see. Because you noticed earlier, we tried to do a show interface trunk and it didn't give us anything right here because the router's interface was not up, nor was it configured as far as the sub interfaces are concerned. And the actual physical port was down as well. And now as you can see on gigabit 0/1, VLANs 10 and VLANs 20 are traversing that trunk port of 0/1. And we can see our encapsulation mode is 802.1Q. We can see the status trunking, and of course the native VLAN is 1. And we'll go back to this router and we'll do show IP route. As you can see in the router table, the local interface of 10.1 and 20.1 right here is in sub interface gig 1.20. That's the default gateway for VLAN 20, and for VLAN 10 right here, this is the default this IP address is the default gateway for any members in VLAN 10. So what we have to do is now is go to these PCs under IP address, and let me see if I can make this bigger for you all so you can see. I guess that won't do any. Let's see, that wouldn't do any good. So you can't see it, but the default gateway is set to 0.0.0.0. Let's actually see what happens if we try to ping a member of VLAN 20 without having a default gateway. So we'll go exit out of here, go to command prompt. I'll make this larger, and we'll try to ping 20.10 again to see what happens. And we should receive more request timeouts. And we are receiving that because these PCs do not have a default gateway, so it doesn't know what to do with the packet, so end up timing out. So what we'll do is we'll get out of here, go to IP configuration, and actually give it the default gateway, 192.168.10.1. I'll minimize this, and I'll do the same for this PC in VLAN 10. 192.168.10.1. 10.1. We'll close this out. We'll come over here and we will do the same thing. But instead of 10.1, we're gonna do 192.168.20.1. Yep, that's about right. And then we'll go over here to this PC and do the same thing. 192.168.20.1. And now let's see from the router's perspective, can we ping a PC? We'll try to ping 192.168.10.10 from the router itself. First, let's see if we can ping the default gateway first before we do anything. Okay, so you see those 5 exclamation points. That's good. The replies, I got replies back, so that's good. The 5 pings went through. So you see at the bottom, success rate is 100%. So let's try to ping .10. And let's see what happens. There we go. And the first one timed out because of ARP, the ARP request. We'll try it again. And there we go. That's why you see the first dot right there from the ARP. And so let's see if we can do the same thing to 20. All right. We'll do something different. We'll do .11. And it should go through because of the ARP. And there we go. And let's try to do 10. It's going to do the same thing because of the ARP request. And if I try it again, all 5 will go through this time. Okay, so now the moment of truth is to see if we can actually ping from this laptop. Let me get out of here. Let's see if we can ping 20.10 from a PC in VLAN 10. So let's see. There we go. Let's see if we can ping. Moment of truth. Ping 192.168. I'm gonna bring this over a little bit so you can see. .20.10. And the ping should go through. And there we have it. And then if I try to do the same in ping 11. Now there's full communication between members of VLAN 10 and members of VLAN 20, because remember early on, before the router was configured, members of VLAN 10 could not communicate with members of VLAN 20. So let's go to VLAN, not VLAN, but let's go to this PC right here. Desktop, exit, and let's see if we can actually ping. Let's see if we can ping any PCs from VLAN 10 from over here. And ping should work. 192.168.10.1. Let's see if we can ping the default gateway. And there we go. If we can ping the default gateway, we can ping the PCs within that VLAN. And there we have it. Let's try to do .11. And that's because of ARP request. But it's gonna go through the rest. See? And we are good to go. We have full connectivity, so now everybody's happy. Members of the engineering VLAN can communicate and send emails to the members of the finance team. And that's pretty much a router stick on a nutshell. In the next video, I'll do a video on switch virtual interfaces. So that's the next video that I will upload next, is switch virtual interfaces. And I'll also make another part of a video as well in the difference between access ports and trunk ports. So I hope you all stay tuned for that. So guys, again, that's pretty much the nutshell. There's full connectivity between the PCs and the router within itself. There's nothing else that needs to be done for these computers to communicate with one another. And again, that's it for the router on the stick. So I would like to say thank you all if you viewed this video all the way through. I really do appreciate it. Like I said, I have more videos and content coming soon. Like I said, I'm going to make some videos discussing the difference between access ports and trunk ports, and then I'll do another video on SVI's switch virtual interfaces on the layer 3 level. So guys, again, thank you so much if you watched this video through. If this information was informative for you, please leave a thumbs up. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comment section below, and I'll make sure that I read the comments, and if you have any questions, I'll answer those questions that you may have. So guys, again, thank you so much for watching this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. And before I close out this video, if you haven't done so already and you'd like to, please press that subscribe button, because it'll really help the channel out a lot. Thank you. And with that being said, I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.